And we are live. Fanboy Modeling School. Welcome into the Fanboy Modeling School. I am the Fat Mantis, now in HD. I'm here with my co-host,
Steve, real name, no gimmicks. What's going on, everyone?
Who is also in HD. He neglected to say that we are the hostess with the mostest. We bring you pop culture sensation, and we rag on everything this way and that way. We're like stand-up comedians. Stay out of our way, or we will crush you.
How the hell
are you today?
How the hell are you, brother?
I'm all right.
After all that energy.
Now I'm going to go to sleep because I have had a long day.
Yes.
Oh, look, we got Roxanne R up in here with her dancing emojis.
What up?
Of course, we've got the hold up. Hail to the chat, says Matt Cat. Welcome in, Broham. Hail to Mantis and Steve. Glad I made it on time this week. Always good to have Matt here.
Great to have you here, brother.
Yeah.
And we got Pony. What up, man? And just as you said that, Usagi taught me, aka Bex, just rolled up in the chat. What up, Bex?
Hashtag fangirls for fanboys. Love it. How is everybody today?
I'm doing good, man. I was having the notion of us doing this podcast was enjoyable up until the point where I realized that you were going to take the side of completely moronic people in a discussion we're gonna have. And just like that, my dinner has been ruined.
And that's the point of this show, for me to make you angry.
It's not even about like me being. I hate to sound like a parent. I'm just disappointed.
So what is he talking about, folks? So as you know, we've got a lineup of stories on our cover, but we always have honorable mentions, and we were discussing honorable mentions before we went on, and he asked me a question, and I simply answered it, and it sent him into a tizzy.
No, it's not a tizzy. It's just righteous indignation, man. Like I from my vantage point, man, having to be right all the time, though enjoyable, is a burden, right? Especially in the topic we're about to go on now. Because if we only respond to what's said versus what we feel like is being said, then this is a clear and cut case, right?
But I don't think anything you have said has anything to do with what's going on with the story in question.
No, I absolutely has. I've watched the video 5 times preparing to have a debate with someone about this, and everything that this person is going to say is a response to treatment that they received in this beloved area that you're going to protect. But let's not let me be the one to do the talking. Why don't we allow the video to? And if
let's let this girl do the talking. But before you do that, remember to like, share, and subscribe this video. Do all the things wherever you're on. If you're on Twitch, if you're on whatever apps we're on, I think we're on Rumble. I think, like, share, subscribe, follow, share, spoons, tips, bits, whatever.
We don't get spoons. We don't get any spoons. No one gets spoons, actually.
No one gets spoons anymore.
I mean, people get spoons, but no one has enough to cash out. Those days are done.
Like you said, it's a burden being right all the time. But let's get into this young lady who has some strong opinions about. Well, you'll see.
We old people doing old internet shit. Oh, I think methinks the live just came to an end. Oh no, there we go. We're back up. Any day now. At any rate, while Mantis is digging through the archives of his VHS and his 8-tracks looking for that one exclusive Beatles white label that he thinks everyone else.
Do not even accuse me of being a Beatles fan.
You strike me as a Beatles fan.
No. Then you read me wrong, nigga. You read me wrong.
Oh, wait, no. So you're worse than a Beatles fan. You're a Smashing Pumpkins fan.
I am a Smashing Pumpkins fan, the greatest band ever.
According to you and that bald-headed motherfucker.
I remember you. I distinctly remember you wailing out to them. And
no, they made amazing music. But to say that they're the best band ever is just craziness. All right, so if you're reading the tagline right there, oh wow, TikToker says she loves black people but hates hood people. Let me say it again for the people in the background. Distinction made. I don't know how many people here study the art of debating or just watch it when Destiny falls prey to his own logic. But the claim here is, oh wow, TikToker says she loves black people, distinction being made here, but hates hood people. Says she's happy her town is segregated. They just say the most uneducated, ignorant stuff I've ever heard in my life. The energy is just so miserable and negative. So who does she hate, Mantis?
Hood people.
Oh, okay. Well, here we go.
Okay, so let's see what she's got to say.
Earlier, where she was like, I'm not afraid to admit hood people scare me. Now, although that may trigger some people, y'all have to understand some of us are just genuinely traumatized. Now, I didn't grow up in the hood, but I worked in the hood. And when I tell y'all, that was one of the most miserable experiences of my entire life. You could not look at them wrong. They wanted to fight. You could not be quiet. If you were quiet, it's you think you're all that, you think you're better than us. It's so bad. I was washing my hair today and I got flashbacks of when they used to tease me and try and call me broke because I was not wearing a lace wig. Like, they just say the most uneducated, ignorant stuff I've ever heard in my life. I'm broke because I want to wear my natural hair that God blessed me with. And because I'm not gluing something to a nasty, stinking stocking cap every 5 seconds, that means I'm broke. Like, the energy is just so miserable and negative. And even when they're trying to be nice, it's still in a weird way. It's like they're either trying to use you or benefit from you or get up under you to learn your business. I don't get that feeling from my friends now. Like, if they want to hang out, I know they genuinely care about me and they want to hang out. Not because they're trying to gather tea on me to tell somebody else. Around hood people, you don't feel safe. You feel like you have to watch your purse, watch your belongings. You have to watch your back. And I remember when I used to go just walk inside of the gas station and a car full of hood girls would just laugh and talk trash. And it's like, you don't even know me. You're just random people on the street. You're just so ignorant. It's just always negativity. They're always down to fight. They're always loud. They're always like, ew. Like, I'm so glad that Tampa is so segregated and I don't have to go on that side of town. And
Okay, so we're gonna continue with her thing. Well, I want to break down what we've seen so far because
let's go itemized by itemized. So I said that her response was reactionary, right? She's reacting to treatment that was levied against her. Would you agree with that thus far?
I would agree with that. I would agree with that. And also, not only that, I feel that it is perfectly fine for anyone to have any opinion, whether good or positive or bad, for any experience they've been through. So she has every right to feel traumatized and victimized by where she grew up. Absolutely.
Well, she didn't grow up there. She worked there. And this is why I'm saying why I pay special attention to what people are saying versus what I'm feeling and what I'm hearing, right? Mm-hmm. Critical thinking, right? Atheists like to lord it over everyone until you ask them to use critical thinking in regards to their own belief structure. And they just fucking fall apart. But you can always trust your boy Steve. So as I was watching this video, man, I thought to myself, is this young lady saying anything that has not been said in the quiet of someone's home elsewhere? And then eventually we're going to work our way to the part that everyone really latched onto, the segregation and Tampa part. But I have to qualify this with, Mantis, how much time have you spent in Florida?
I've been there once or twice, maybe a weekend. Not very much.
How familiar are you with the bourgeoisie of the black?
I don't know anything about their cultures or anything like that.
Okay. So, all right.
I went to Jacksonville once and I went to Miami once. Boom.
All right. So here's the thing, right? So the first portion of her claim about her working in the hood and not being able to look at anyone because if you stare at them wrong, they want to fight you. If you don't talk, they think you're better than them. Why would you think she said that?
Well, I would assume she'd experienced it. I would assume that she's firsthand experiencing that. That's the type of bullying she underwent.
Okay. Have you ever lived in the hood your life?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever experienced anything like that before? Let's be honest. Let's not try to win the argument, man. Know that I know you.
Yes.
And I know your life experience.
Yes. So not exactly that, but yeah, basically. Yeah, I've definitely received bullying from hood motherfuckers.
Hood motherfuckers. Not to be distinguished solely as black people, right?
Of course not.
Okay. Because, I have to argue a point versus what's being said versus whatever the fuck you're hearing. So we're on the same page right now. So your own experience, you would be able to relate to this young lady in some level.
I absolutely.
That, the hood can be unforgiving and unkind to certain types of people, right?
Yeah.
Do you think at this point that anything she's saying is anti-black?
Anti-black, no. I wouldn't go there. I would not go there.
Would it be anti-black if you receive mistreatment from people in your community or the hood? Is that anti-black for them to call you light-skinned, Uncle Tom, stuck up, conceited? Is that anti-black?
Oh, you're saying their behavior?
Yeah, their behavior towards you.
That's actually a really good question. On the front, my instinct is to say no, that's not anti-black. But then again, they're discriminating against another black person. So
some people might accuse them of. Wait, what's the definition of a coon or an Uncle Tom? I think we covered this before, and I thought I handled this pretty well. But
you were asking too many questions. Just say what you're gonna say, bro.
I'm saying
he's laying the trap, folks. If you ever noticed,
I'm just saying that if we look at the criteria of those things, an Uncle Tom or a coon, often those behaviors that are described as cooning or being an Uncle Tom could be attributed to another group within the black community. And I find it interesting that so many people have such a visceral reaction to what this young lady is saying, up into the point of calling it anti-black, which lets me know people are wildly confused about what that term means.
So my question to play devil's advocate, is it possible that they are calling the second part of her statement anti-black when she said, I'm glad it's segregated?
Well, let me ask you.
Is that an anti-black statement?
Well, let me answer the question first. No, it's not anti-black. Because here's the fact of the matter, right? Everyone calls for revolution, right? Everyone wants your blood to be on the table when it comes to bettering the community. But why? You see what I'm saying? Allow me to cook here for a second. We will say all types of shit to women like, I will not defend you. Why should I be the one to defend you? Well, why should I live in the hood? Why should my resources be in the hood? I can donate to the local charities in the community, right? I can politic and build with the brothers and sisters in that community while not living there. Why must I waste an ounce of time on a person that would sooner shoot me, hurt my children, or hurt my family? How is that anti-black by calling out dysfunctional behaviors? Unless, in fact, you attribute those behaviors to being black. Now, you can go to any part of woke revolutionary YouTube and find someone who's going to somehow disagree with me. But if we stick to the facts, is it anti-black to simply say, I do not like these dysfunctional, harmful behaviors?
So it is not anti-black, or like I said, I think that's the thing. People can have opinions, particularly things they've experienced. Mm-hmm. Totally fair to go with it, whether it's positive, negative, whatever. No other person can simply say, oh, she didn't have a good time in the hood, she's anti-black, she's an idiot. Fuck them if they say that, right?
Right.
But however, in our egalitarian society, where we're all meant to mingle and commingle and not look down at people for socioeconomic problems we have, right? It is, I think we, like you said, we have a visceral reaction when she uses the S word, when she breaks out segregation. People are like, whoa, slow down, sister. because I'm
Mm.
going to admit, no, I don't hate the hood, though. I don't hate the hood. I sometimes hate the hood. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
I'm saying segregation. She's glad the city is segregated.
Well, let me ask you a question, right? Do you think that people who live in, say, the suburbs of Chicago, let's just make up a hypothetical situation here, right? You are a part of a family that lived on the south side of Chicago during the heyday, right? Some people would say the heyday is now, but during the late 90s, early 2000s, you lived, let's say 77th and Phillips, maybe 77th and Escanaba. If you don't know what that is, that just means you're not from Chicago. But it's one is in a GD neighborhood, the other one is in a Blackstone neighborhood, right?
Okay.
Competing factions. I'm a father. You're my child. We live in one of these two communities. I bust my ass every day to make sure that I cast the image of what it means to be a productive human being. Does that mean if I tell you that these downtrodden motherfuckers out there gangbanging are not your brothers, am I being anti-black?
No.
Okay, so let's then say that through my bare hands, I managed to relocate our family to a northern suburb, moving it out of a crime-ridden area where people were getting shot, killed, and murdered at alarming rates. Whatever you want to call it. You don't want to call it black-on-black crime? Whatever. We'll just call it crime, specific to the area that we live in. If I move us out of that area, does that make me anti-black?
No.
Okay.
No, you're doing what's right for your family. And
now,
it's the only logical move you can do.
Now, is it anti-black to say that I do not want to see those behaviors, nor the results of those behaviors, make their way to the area that I live in?
Oh, no. That's correct. Here's what it is. You are correct, sir. But I'm going to, so being half white, I'm going to put you on to how the white man does it.
Okay.
I'm going to give you all a lesson on how to be white. Okay.
Okay.
Because
you can take it, sir. Go for it.
Yeah. Have you ever noticed the duplicitous nature of the white man? So here's what I'm saying. The white man, like a cop, a politician, a priest, anything like that, your neighbor, your friend, they have that tendency to not say what they mean. They're non-confrontational, and they can smile in your face even though they just called the cops on you. And they're going to have you pulled away. That is how they roll, right? Mm-hmm. And so here's what it is. Obviously, all these people in these quote-unquote white neighborhoods want segregation. However, it's considered racist and disgusting to say that they want it. Right. So what they do is they do things like this. If you ever notice this, and you've probably noticed it, probably like this in your area.
Right.
Not a lot of sidewalks.
Yeah.
Not a lot of sidewalks, not a lot of buses.
Yes,
and that's a way to pretend. Racist. It's because that's a way to prevent poor people who don't have cars from coming to that area, right?
Right.
And so they do subtle things like that to segregate, but they would never admit that they would segregate. See what I'm saying?
So I appreciate you for taking us down that trip down what white people do. But since we're dealing exclusively with black people tonight,
what I'm saying is you'd be perceived as less scandalous if you were duplicitous in your feeling that you want to protect your kids and your family, instead of just coming out and saying it. I think what people are, they're more shocked that you would say.
Why would they be shocked? Why would they be? Why would they
be open-minded? This is an egalitarian.
No, but here's the thing. Most people don't even know what egalitarian means, right? So they wouldn't even know the context of what you're applying that to.
Right.
Here's the thing, right? We have to deal with our own prejudice and our own shortcomings and our own mental defects, right? And here's what I'm dealing with. We're going to deal with the story and the facts of this, right? And we're going to deal with black people. Since you took us down a trip down what the white man might do, let me tell you about the black people that lived in Southern California.
Okay.
Who found out that a bunch of Southern, maybe less than educated brothers and sisters were making their way up to the communities that they were going to be living in.
Okay.
They had not white people, right? There was not one white person present in this historic picture. Go look it up. It's all black people saying that, hey, we are highly educated, we're highly professional. From now, I'm not agreeing with what they said. I'm just telling you how black people worked and can work in these scenarios. They are literally saying, maybe this is an element we don't want in our community. Now that's wrong because that's talking about the black bourgeoisie, right? They're talking about respectability, politics, which I actually don't have a problem with. I think you should be able to carry yourself in a certain way and communicate in a certain level to be able to function in the world. I have no evidence that this young lady is talking about black people. I do know that a lot of you are going to be intellectually dishonest and not pretend like you have not said this same exact shit at Church's Chicken at 2 a.m. You got to deal with some. But here's the difference between me and the rest of y'all. I have no problem dealing with hood motherfuckers, right? Because I'll say it to your face. I'm like, yo, you think you being from the hood makes you good? We're the only people that validate that shit. I was scouring the internet looking for a Jewish slum where the Jews were like, yes, make music about it, build an industry on top of it, and then protect it. No, it's above reproach and critique. Yo, that's the crazy shit when we get to this hood talk. When I had you, Roxanne, and DaVinci on for Talk So White, my dear brother, I love you to death. We were describing negative characters working in the black community. And the minute I brought up the local drug dealer, you were like, well, he's a brother. I'm like, well, I can't tell he's a brother. He didn't care to be a brother when he was selling copious amounts of drugs to someone's mother.
Right?
Why can we not turn this criticism around on these folks? And I grew up in one of the most hood families ever. I have no latent racism in my body.
No, you know what it is? It's because you're from the real hood. And I would say like 2 levels higher than the hood I can't come from. You're
from Brooklyn. You lived in a pretty shitty area, bro.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That was a shitty area. But like, I'm just saying, you have the ability to speak that truth. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think that a lot of people are scared to speak that truth, and like I said, I think people feel uncomfortable. Saying that truth, that they're like, we don't want riffraff in our area, because they feel like they're a villain in a Disney movie.
Yeah. Let me call it for you, man. Let me call it for you right now. Let me quarterback this shit, right? Let me just call out like some weird shit right now, man. You know what the issue is? This is a light-skinned woman saying it.
It is. That was the first thing I noticed. I was like, this would have gone over way better with a dark chick.
It's a light-skinned woman saying it. So motherfuckers are in their feelings. They're in shambles. Yo, I spent the better part of my day off in the comment section just perusing this shit. And I cannot find one thing that she actually said which wasn't in response to her treatment from being in the hood. It doesn't matter if she's a stripper. It doesn't matter if she's the Pizza Hut delivery person. We're talking about dysfunctional, negative behaviors. Do we celebrate them? Yes or no? Do we applaud dysfunctional behavior?
I feel you. And you know what it is? It's because I'm a light-skinned motherfucker that I also have that guilt riding on me, that I'm like, well, I can't be too critical of my brothers and sisters. You sell that dope, brother.
Let me ask you a question, man. What warrants brother and sister? I was raised around peripheral to a very militant Pan-African belief structure. Okay. Right? I just got to say this, man. When I hear people refer to people as their brother and sister, I do not understand what they are saying. I'm like, well, by brother, do you mean that he is akin to you? Do you mean that you have a connection to him because of the diaspora? And then at what point, Mantis, my dear brother, do you realize what we're doing right now? We're defending the hood. Why are we defending the hood? Not black people. Why are we defending the hood? What is the knee-jerk reaction to defend the hood? I've seen some of the shit that's happened to you in the hood. Why are you defending it? Why are you defending it?
I don't really have an answer. I don't really have an answer.
I'm not talking about black people. For the lazy train of thought person, for the person that wants to go to every other point of what they think I'm saying. No, I'm asking you. Hood mentality, hood behaviors. Let's break them down. The hoodest nigga alive is the realest nigga alive, right? And the realest nigga alive is the gulliest nigga alive, right? And that's the nigga that's willing to do whatever to get the dollar. You know what I'm saying? Right? You know, I'm outside hanging out with my ratchet ass friends. That's what we're dealing with. Why would you be mad at someone for critiquing that shit? What?
I mean, I'm telling you, it's challenging for us light skins. Well, she's having no problem going nuts on this one, but sometimes I have a problem doing it.
Bro, did she even really go nuts, or did she?
No, she didn't. She's actually, dare I say it, based right now. Right. I will say this, that we had a different conversation in the green room, and however, I do feel like if I don't believe you're winning the debate, but I would say you are changing my mind in a certain direction. Checking in with our chat, we've kind of left them hanging for a little while.
Nice.
We've got Usagi saying, yuck, Florida. Shaolin Iceboxer shows up and he says, here's the thing. She's not lying at all. No lies detected. But segregation ain't it. And that's the time where I kind of had the knee-jerk reaction. I was like, ugh.
Before we continue with the chat, I think we need to define what we think she's saying, because we don't have her to speak for us right now. So if she's talking about, and this is going to be very uncomfortable, some of you are going to have to deal with some shit that you were raised with, and now you're going to pretend like you weren't raised with it. Michelle Obama wrote a book about her life. In the book, I believe it was her grandfather or her father. I want to say her grandfather. During the Chicago riots, said, "Look at these boo-boos out here ruining everything." You know why he said that? Obviously, he's not talking about 3-year-olds taking poops in their pants.
Right.
That was his way of saying to, I guess, his then young granddaughter, Michelle Obama, that these were the bad quote unquotes, right? I'm not with that shit at all. But what is segregation in the context of this conversation? Should, because you and I share a kinship in skin, mean that I should allow your dysfunction into my home and into the area I live in? I'm not talking about people trying to change their lives, Mantis. Let's deal with the argument as it is. Nigga, if niggas are offing motherfuckers in O Block at record numbers, give me the family that wants to get away from that. Let me help them.
Right.
Does that mean I have to invite the motherfuckers who are killing each other and tweeting about it to my community? Okay. And let's assume in this community it's all black people. Do we need to bring these motherfuckers in?
Yo, I have figured it out. I have absolutely figured it out. I understand.
Can you answer that question first? Just for the
record. You don't have. You obviously don't have to. Obviously, it would be stupid to bring them in.
Is that a form of segregation?
Okay, so I think what it is, because here's what I'm saying. What does she mean by segregation?
I'm just talking from my vantage point.
When I hear segregation, I automatically jump to the idea of racial segregation.
Jim Crow. You jumped to Jim Crow, but we didn't talk about. She didn't say racial.
She didn't say that, and you are right. This is the thing. One of the things that's convincing me is that I have noticed she is just talking about hood motherfuckers. She has not named a race yet. You are right. She hasn't, and we all jump to the conclusion that she's sitting on blacks. But she's really talking shit about a different socioeconomic class, which I feel way more comfortable about talking shit about. But I figured out what it is, man.
What is it, my brother?
Okay, and I'm so glad you called me brother to start this off, because it's about the brother and sister thing. Now, I know that you and Bex and several other people who have been part of movements or all these things see the word brother and sister differently, where you're like, well, no, these are people who are trying to make better for themselves. It doesn't include every single person. The like you said, the Pookies and the
no. When I
not your brothers, right?
When I use the word brother, I use it in regards to like first and foremost, between black people or black skinned people. I mean that as brother, right? We are brothers in the flesh, as Paul said in the Bible. But we are not brother in belief.
Right. Okay. So, but here's what I'm saying. Here's where the guilt comes from the very concept of that, the black family.
Tribalism.
Right. They're part of your tribe, and you have a guilt about leaving them behind. I look at some Ray or some Pookie, and I'm like, I was like, if only you had a chance, if only you had some education, you could make something of yourself, brother. Take my hand. I want to help you. And so you feel disgusted when you say, you know what? Fuck you, motherfucker. Get out. And I've said that to people before. I was like, get the fuck out of my face. Go back to your crackhead mama, right? And I've been that asshole, but those are all my dark moments. But I'm saying, when you really think about it, the reason why we have this knee-jerk reaction against it is it's like no man left behind, no brother or sister left behind.
Right. Right. And there's nothing wrong with that notion, man. There's nothing wrong with the notion on paper or in practicality. But there are some people you're going to have to leave behind. And let me say the uncomfortable thing that no one wants to say, right? You had this reaction to this video because you thought she was talking about you or someone you knew or someone you're close with, some family member. Your knee-jerk reaction was, as they say nowadays, you were triggered for no apparent reason other than the person getting up here and saying some shit about their own experience. We can attack her experience. I'm down for that. She's not allowed to have her own personal reality. But on the weighing scale of the shit we see on the internet day to day, this is not qualified for anti-black for me, because I could send you 15 videos right now that are actual anti-black sentiment.
But here's what I'm saying. I notice you have not disavowed the term segregation, though. You don't feel uncomfortable about hearing her say the word segregation?
No, because I don't live in a flower lily pad world, man. Jim Crow, segregation, racial segregation, apartheid. These are things that have happened. But let's be clear. There are forms of segregation that happen all the time, and we participate in it on a day-to-day basis. And I'm just the one to be comfortable enough to say, like, yo, I do not want my kids going to school with a bunch of crazy fucking MAGA people. I want to be segregated from them.
Right. I got you. No, I feel it.
But it sounds better if I say it against some crazy white people, right?
Right.
What if I turned around and I told you, like, I do not want my kids exposed to the shit that I grew up in. I do not.
I mean,
and I will move them to any area and segregate my family from that shit. Why would that upset you?
No, I mean that makes total sense, though. That absolutely makes total sense.
Well, that's what I'm about. I'm about making total sense. Now, in closing, class, here's what you dealt with. We had a threefold problem. She's light skinned, right? She said something about weaves, and you assume that she was talking about you. You assume she was talking about your cousin Pookie, the Ray Rays. But here's the problem, man. And I want to acknowledge something that a friend said. Some of this shit can be used against us because we're saying it in the public space, right? I am by no means a conservative talker. Like, I'm not getting paid for this shit. If I was a real conservative talking head, like a pundit, me and Mantis would be rich right now.
Oh my god! You know how hard we'd go? I would love it. I would love doing that. I would love to get paid to spout that shit.
But I just got to keep it a bean, man. Like, this shit is as anti-black as Glorilla's last song. If you don't think Glorilla's last song is anti-black, there's no way you can come to this conclusion on this shit.
Right. Roxanne R.M. says, you went to Orlando too. That is true. I'm sorry. She is reminding me that I went to Disneyland at some point. Disney World, right? Shaolin says, Hood recognized Hood, though. She just seems stuck up and square. Never had issues with Hood folk.
But we got to distinguish that. What does Hood mean?
Yasagi says Hood doesn't mean anti-black, but I'm willing to bet her ass meant black people. Yeah, I mean,
based off of what?
She didn't say black people, but
based off of what? This is perfect, man. Allow me to use my first year psychology class on you. Based off of what? What in her demeanor?
She's a wealthy light skin.
What makes
probably hates black people behind closed doors.
What evidence do you have of that?
I have no evidence. I'm just looking right in her eyes, and I see the devil.
So you see yourself. Because I'm not saying you in particular. I'm just saying, like, in general, there's no evidence of anything that we would accuse her of.
No, there isn't evidence, but I think we want to hate her because she's wealthy. And
how do you know she's wealthy?
Since she's got that marble in the background, she probably got a nice bathroom. That's a nice bathroom. And then look.
You can buy fake marble. You realize I'm a homeowner. I
don't know. Her robe looks a little, They
nice. Sell those robes at Target. You can get one. You can have one if you want one.
Are you kidding me? No way, man. No way. I'd have to have 3 jobs to do that. Are you kidding me?
You know what? I do want to talk to you about some real anti-black sentiment. If I send you something really quickly, would you be willing to play it so we can talk about?
I will, but let me quickly go. Let me catch up with our chat friends. Roxanne says maybe she's just lame and the other girls clock that. Yes, absolutely. Sheldon says facts, Roxanne, and so that's something I was gonna bring up when you were challenging me earlier. The point is like it sounds like not only is she having like a hood experience, but she could also just be having a girl experience. Women are horrible to each other,
right?
And it could just be like, this bitch sucks. Let's haze her.
You know what? This is, you guys suffer from something that I don't suffer from, and I realize that, and I'm sorry that you do suffer from it. And this is me. I'm not gonna make any jokes. Because I grew up in the hood, I feel no need to defend these motherfuckers because they're more than capable of defending themselves, right? Like they don't need my protection. You got your big boy pants on, bruh. I would think the exact same things if I didn't experience some of the things that she described on a day-to-day basis. And that's the one uncomfortable truth that a lot of minorities don't want to deal with. Maybe you were a part of that crew that victimized that one kid that liked comic books. Or that motherfucker that couldn't dance. Maybe you were
both those kids. I was both those kids. So you motherfuckers bullied me.
In the court of public opinion, in the court of like how we weigh these things out, I would be on your side if it wasn't based off of my own experiential anecdotal situations, and then just the wildly reported experiences of almost everyone that's going against this chick. This is a type of cognitive dissonance I've never experienced in my life amongst my friends. Motherfuckers were literally calling themselves blurs a week ago, and then they're trying to pretend like they haven't received some of this treatment. What's wrong with y'all? What's wrong with y'all?
Yeah, Yosagi says apparently RM, her place of work was a strip club, and in reality, she is really from the hood, and saying things on the internet to cause reactions is her day job. Wow. Oh please, strippers are the biggest haters. Yes, they are, Roxanne. The light-skinned woman that was recently arrested for battery, so I guess she should know about this. I don't know all the stories about her that you're talking. Was she arrested for battery? But no, we don't applaud dysfunctional behavior.
Okay. So here we go, man. This is the hardest part of my podcasting job, right? Mantis, what's the truth? What is not in this thing? What is the truth? Are facts the truth? Are we gonna
facts are the truth?
Okay. If a bum motherfucker told you, hey man, your medical records fell out your pocket. I took a gander at him. You have typhoids. Would you not take that information from the bum motherfucker? Like if he was privy to it.
Like I'm sure he's legit.
Okay. Let me give you another one. You're bleeding. You're bleeding out of your head, right? Your ex-girlfriend who you despise, the ex-girlfriend, right? The one you took the trip for, says, Mantis, you're bleeding profusely. Does that make it a lie because that bitch is saying it?
All right, of course not, obviously.
All right.
Because I don't have typhoids, by the way.
Yes, both of those things. I don't. It's fun as this shit is, man. I really do think we got to do another what is hood culture thing. We got to call people to task, man. Some of you people are really, really duplicitous in your response. And that's why I love that you use that word. Yo, some of you folks are really duplicitous in your response to this shit. I'm going to keep it a buck all the way through, man. Why are we celebrating and protecting hood culture? Now, some people are going to go into some things. Well, my favorite barbecue is in the hood. No, we're talking about the most dysfunctional behaviors in our community.
Pokey says, I'm 27 behind, watching it twice the speed. Rogue Radio in the house. Holla at you, bro. Thank you for stopping in. Usagi says, I agree with facts and truth, but we also need to recognize that representative will affect the message sometimes. Look at how people look at Candace. And we're going to talk about Candace in a little bit. But here's what I'm saying. His point that he was pointing out is that just because she's a stripper and just because she's a
little angry, if we're using those same rules, I shouldn't listen to any of these bum-ass bitch rappers.
Because they're all sex workers or wannabe sex workers, right? I feel you.
Yeah, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills sometimes. I feel like I'm taking crazy. Actually, I'm going to send you something right now because I want to show you some real anti-black behavior. And this is going to blow your mind, Mantis, because a lot of people, not any of the educated people in this chat, obviously, a lot of people would be inclined to defend this. And they're the same type of people that would be inclined to defend dysfunctional behaviors. And for my woke revolutionary friends on that side of the internet, notice how I'm not using anything to attribute these behaviors indicatively to our people. But I do believe your cognitive dissonance is going to assume that that's what I'm talking about. I'm going to tell you outright, I'm not. But this shit is real anti-black. Not the presenter. I'm going to show you some real anti-black shit with a black face defending it. It's that type of energy tonight. It's that type of energy, Mantis. You could have spared everyone this shit. All you had to do is not say what you said in the green room. So if you don't know who this is Gothic's commentator on I believe she's still on Twitch, if they still allow her to be on there, right? And mostly on YouTube.
Twitch sucks nowadays. Twitch totally sucks.
It sucks major.
It's like everyone went away. People have problems with it. It's just not what it used to be, man.
Just play it. Just play it.
An inside source at a Flint, Michigan school recently shared what appears to be a class assignment. Now, if you take a look at this assignment, you can see the instructions state that Black students should write their assignment in Black English, while non-Black students should write their assignment in plain English. I am a Black woman. I've been Black my entire life, to my knowledge.
Pause it. Always.
Yo, this one is getting me heated right now. This one is absolutely getting me heated.
Did you catch that? Black students should write theirs in Black English.
Black English.
Non-Black students should write theirs in English. Let it roll. Let the anti-blackness of it all roll over you.
It's fucking insane, man. These people are insane. And you know what's funny? The person who wrote that assignment probably thought they were an ally and they were being woke.
Exactly.
That's the most insane part of it. They don't understand that those sentences for the explanation of the assignment is offensive in 4 or 5 areas already. And yet they're like, I'm being an ally right now.
But wait. Why aren't people having such a strong reaction over this? Because there's some light-skinned chick talking about she hates hood behaviors on TikTok. We got to keep our shit prioritized, bro. We got to keep it prioritized.
Yo, chat, you guys have to agree that this is total madness, this assignment that they issued. That is totally insane. And for starters, I have to say this. I'm going to be real with it. There is no such thing as Black English. Okay, here's what it is. There might be Ebonics or whatever people are calling it. It's not Black English. That is a form of slang. That is not a dialect of English.
Well, I tried to lay it out for you. One of Black conservatism's greatest thinkers, Thomas Sowell. Now, remember, I'm not saying he's one of their greatest, but this is a guy who's quoted constantly. He thinks he's proved definitively, without a doubt, that most of the Ebonics or slang that we use comes from our interaction with our, let's say, redneck brethren and sisters from back in the day, that these are actually old English words. It's a very interesting case study.
Oh,
man.
Wow. I will check that out because I am fascinated by that. But I take offense at even the term Black English.
Why aren't you defending it? Why aren't you championing
Because it's not real. There's no such thing as Black English.
Well, what's hood culture? Is that real?
No, it's not.
Okay, continue.
It's not real. Let me explain. I'm sure there's some people already hating on me. They're like, Mantis, how dare you? It's not the same as an actual culture that develops especially when you're talking about like hood culture. We call it hood culture, but it's not like its own culture. It's part of American culture, but like that also has social and economic things. It's oh my God.
Thought that I've been using plain English. So now I start wondering, have I actually been using Black English the entire time?
No, you're too articulate. You're not to be.
Apparently, this phenomenon of
no.
English.
Here's the other thing. No, we can't take Gothic. I'm sorry, we can't take Gothic serious either because there are too many qualifiers to be able to disqualify her. Right? She's clearly a conservative, anti-LGBTQ, cisgender female who has pretty hair privilege and isn't dark enough to speak on the topics that
There you go. Disqualified. Disqualified.
Look.
Just like some stripper bitch trying to cause havoc
in the community.
That disregards all her shit.
I'm sorry. Continue. I'm sorry.
So let's see what
goes. Which is African American Vernacular English. Again, I thought I've always been using plain English, evidently not. I came across a video from Babbel, and if you don't know what Babbel is, it is, I believe it's a service that teaches you how to speak different languages. So I find it interesting that
where is this going?
They also have a video on AAVE, so I'm going to take their word for it. They must know what they're talking about. So
Pause it right now. Pause it. AVE.
Babbel teaches AAVE.
You know how you said I was saying laying a trap before the light skin and all that shit, right?
Yeah.
I was laying the trap. I've been pondering this shit since 4:26 in the morning. It's all been cleverly laid out. So
Babbel teaches AAVE.
I want you to know that the information you're about to receive is from a beautiful Nubian queen, which means that we can trust everything she's going to say, set down by the criteria of things that we can disqualify based off the pigment of another person. So if your prejudice allows you to think this way, why are you laughing for? If your prejudice allows you to think this way, allow your prejudice to be utterly consistent, right? So roll that beautiful.
Someone has to be at least as dark as molasses.
Only dark-skinned people tell the truth.
Words to be valid.
If you're not picking up what I'm laying down, only dark-skinned people tell the truth because they are at the epicenter of all things that are true.
Because it's based on the oppression somehow made it true.
And see if we can get a better understanding of what AAV is, or Black English, because we're all about growth here. We're all about educating ourselves and empowering ourselves, you know? So,
Amen.
This should be interesting. Let's take a listen.
In standard American English, you would say she doesn't like, whereas in AAVE, you would say she don't like. So we can see that in AAVE, the verb to do is conjugated.
Whoa. One, why the fuck are they teaching this? Like they want to spread it for starters, right? That's the first problem. And that, once again, is that particular thing is not just African Americans, not just blacks. It's just poor people use that language.
What happened, man? We defending the hood. Why are you so angry right now?
I'm telling you, right now, there is some redneck on a tractor who uses that same language.
I don't understand. It's a black face explaining to us some very simple truths. Why are you not accepting this?
Because here's what I'm saying. The Mantis, I want to let you guys know, I'm very defensive about the arts, but particular writing, and I believe in the power of like the English language, and like language is important and all these things are important. Right. And this is belittling the discipline of reading, writing, and just constructing thought.
I disagree.
He's teaching it like it's an English class.
I disagree. I think that this validates us, right? It validates us, and in validating us, you need to be less racist in your response. You're sounding very white supremacy. Right?
You know, you said you're like, I'm from the hood, so I'm immune to any like softness about regarding the hood or any of the bleeding heart things. It's the same thing with me. Like I go to my church and it's like primarily white, like mostly white. Right. And when I see people experiencing white guilt, I see the most intelligent people ever, and their brain is melting.
No. I knew you would be. That's not what I'm going for.
And I'm immune to this. I'm immune to this bullshit.
No. I'm going for black guilt. Why are you mad at this? Why are you mad at this? I don't understand. Why are you? I don't understand why you're mad at this.
Let's see what this supposed educated bitch has to say. Okay, let's roll.
In the third person plural, rather than the third person singular. Next up is the present progressive tense, which is used to explain something that is happening in real time. For example, Nadine is going shopping. But in AAVE, you would drop the is and just say Nadine going shopping. Parts of the verb, like is and are are often dropped.
Yo, she's not even teaching the beauty of Ebonics. You could at least give us some slang words. She's going straight for ignorance. She's like, this is some ignorant ass shit that I'm going to spread.
No, this is the problem. This is a lexicon. Why doesn't it meet your standard of defense? She's explaining a lexicon right now.
So just as you are the arbiter or you're the believer, or you're the one who perpetuates the idea that like there are not multiple truths out there. There's one truth.
No, yeah, I'm consistent.
Right, you are consistent.
I'm consistent.
I would say that right now they're trying to create their own truth.
No, I would normally agree with you, but you guys have really helped me turn over a leaf. I don't understand why
you guys love Woke Steve. Woke Steve's wonderful to work with.
I don't understand why this bothers you. And I noticed that no one's coming to this woman's defense right now.
Yeah, I know Sheldon said, I know I didn't hear the word conjunction. Right? She's teaching it like it's an English class. Can I use Spanglish? Yo, I wonder, does Babbel teach Spanglish?
Let's find out.
Oh, our Nouveau Rican has a language.
Bro, if they're not teaching New Eurekan, then that makes this what? That makes this what, Mantis? Say it with me. That makes me right, and that makes this anti-black. I don't understand why.
This is definitely anti-black.
Why aren't more people outraged in the chat? Bex, RM, where'd you go?
Yeah, where'd you go, guys?
What happened? Why aren't you outraged?
This is literally anti-educating black people.
In AAVE, because the meaning is already implied. Now, if someone said Nadine be going shopping, this has an entirely different meaning and brings us into the territory of the habitual be. The habitual be signifies that something is often or usually done. So, from our example sentence of Nadine be going shopping, the listener understands that, dang, Nadine really loves to shop and does it frequently. And depending on the tone in which this is said, it could imply that Nadine is a shopaholic. But like in most languages, context and tone can have a huge impact.
Wait, hold on. Could I get a degree in AAV?
No, you're too light, motherfucker. This shit is gatekept by the arbiters of truth in the black community, the darkest of darks. They're not going to let you get up here talking about this shit. What the fuck are you talking?
I want to get a degree in, what's your degree in? African American vernacular. That would be amazing. Imagine, I bet you anything. There are people out there who have a degree, have a college degree in this.
Mantis, I love you like a fat kid loves kid. You are my brother through and through. And I mean that like in the real way we mean brothers. Like brothers in arm, brother in code. The chances of you being able to teach this to a group of anyone that isn't black are very slim, right? And the minute you did teach it, you can rest assured that any black bodies that counted themselves as your friends before would be totally condemning you when your picture's up on the shade room. It's going to be your picture right next to Jonathan Majors.
or what's his name? Sean Kingston or not Sean Kingston. Talcum X.
Talcum X. Yeah. Beck said, I'm sorry, throw it up there.
She says, what, this one? I'm just confused. Who is she teaching this to?
Well, Babbel provides this service to anyone seeking to learn a language.
But
so
wait, hold on. Can you imagine who is the person who was accessing this?
Well,
other than for YouTube content. So are there people who are like, I wish, like some white person from the suburbs, like, I wish I could understand what these blacks are talking about. And then they go to Babbel, and instead of learning Spanish or French or something, they put this on and they spend hours watching these videos?
Now, something really amazing to me is that Beck says, who's this for? But I'm definitely not calling it anti-black. Huh? They...
Man just has to learn how to use child before he can teach. I know how to use child, okay?
Wait. Run it back, Bex. I need to understand why this is not anti-black.
Yeah, how is this not anti-black? What are you talking about? It's literally teaching ignorance Here's what it's teaching ignorance about blacks to other races. And if blacks are buying into this, it's teaching them to be more ignorant rather than get their vocabulary up.
And in actuality, before anyone goes to the whole Creole, Southern Carolinas conversation, I just want you to know something, right? No one in France respects the way that Creoles or Cajuns, so that's blacks and whites, speak the bastardized version of French.
Right.
Let's be clear. The same way that the Spaniards don't respect. Yeah, well, yeah, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying.
I mean, I would still even argue that Creole is at least more legitimate than AAV. Like
the French would disagree with you.
Yeah, they would. They'd call me a Neanderthal, right? Like,
not that they have the right to call anyone Neanderthals. Any country that's been conquered as much as France, forcibly, or them taking the knee, like Colin Kaepernick. You know, France. Let's just keep it real. France is like the pussy nigga of the world.
At some point we need to talk about the Oscars, but like if you've seen if you've seen this movie Anatomy of a Fall, it's a courtroom drama, but it's in it's French. Yeah. Their court system is the most idiotic shit ever, son.
Bro.
These people are animals.
Candace Owens is going to get into the Andrew Tate situation, and I forget how barbaric. I said it, you limey fucks. How barbaric their judicial system is. Not suggesting that ours isn't, because we gleaned heavily what we believe about the law from these fucking savages. I'm just waiting for Bex to explain to me how the AV situation is not anti-black.
Yeah, and then Roxanne, you know what's funny? Roxanne Man used to be referred to as RM, and it's so weird seeing her full name here.
Yeah.
Laugh at this is funny, but I would say that this is an interesting as a reference for future historians. I agree that they're gonna make so much fun of us in the future.
No, she's talking about this situation in regards to the young lady in the Babel situation. But
that's what I'm saying. They're gonna make fun of us.
But how does one qualify for historical reference and the other one doesn't? I'm trying to guide you guys into a generalized baseline of discernment.
No.
How is one considered anti-black and the other one isn't? What are the fucking mitigating factors, bro?
Wait, name the two phenomena. You're talking about this and what else?
And the light-skinned young lady that said she does not enjoy being in the hood. She doesn't like hood people. How is that anti-black? And how is this?
That is not. Well, I would say that's not anti-black, and this is super anti-black.
No, I know you would. I'm trying to get them to answer the question. How does one?
Bex, you're the biggest person fighting against this, so you need to answer, right?
Continue playing it. You're gonna love it. It's highly enlightening.
In AAVE, you might hear someone say ax instead of the traditional ask, or library instead of library.
Oh God.
This is called metathesis, which involves switching around sounds and words. Although metathesis is a part of the dialect, non-AAVE speakers often make fun of it and or discredit it.
As they should! Well, as they should! We're essentially saying that mediocrity is enriching, and that's a part of our culture.
I'm sorry, homegirl. It's not mediocrity.
It's not uncommon for this metathesis to be corrected in schools.
It should be corrected. I mean, think about that for a second. If you're saying that it is part of our culture to not pronounce words correctly, you're implying that there's no need for someone to improve their vocabulary.
Yeah,
and also,
totally.
just because something is a part of your culture doesn't mean that it's good.
This is particularly common when Black children are in predominantly white school districts. Although this is valuable knowledge when speaking and learning standard American
give it to
English,
Eminem.
it's important for educators to realize that AAVE is its own dialect. Once this is
Professor
acknowledged,
Eminem,
educators can explain to students that
Wait.
their dialect at home is super rich and important.
Wait, go back just a little bit, because it's this part.
Dialect at home is super rich and important, but there are certain rules to follow when speaking standard American English.
Oh, what are the rules?
It's important for educators. Black children are in predominantly white school districts. Although this is valuable knowledge when speaking and learning standard American English, it's important for educators to realize that AAVE is its own dialect. Once this is acknowledged, educators can explain to students that their dialect at home is super rich and important, but there are certain rules to follow when speaking standard American English.
Oh, what are the rules?
It's important to note that one dialect is not more correct than another.
Oh, yeah?
However, people who dismiss AAVE as an internet phenomenon for young people are actually erasing over 400 years of culture, heritage, and linguistics.
And I want to cut her off right here because real quick, I will say this. Another thing that's really stupid is that she once again is also grouping all blacks together, creating a concept that like she's kind of implying that all blacks speak this, and it's regional. Each AAVE situation is absolutely regional and different in each situation.
100%. The dialect is going to be centered around where you live, right?
Right.
Which is exactly. But again, so here's the bait and switch, right? Here's the bait and switch, and you have to be able to recognize the bait and switch. That's why I asked you to rewind it. She said you're completely discounting 400 years of culture, but that's not the conversation that's on the table, right?
Right.
You've completely made a subset of English. And you know what? Let me jump off the ship early on this because I could say the obvious points, but I can already see the obvious responses, which are just underwhelming in their argumentation. Somehow the term self-hate gets thrown in there, and it's just like, well, bro, do we have a standard at which we want to measure these things? If you're telling me that you're a revolutionary and you want me to speak Nigerian or whatever dialect they speak there, I want to learn how they speak it correctly, right?
Right.
Like, if you tell me that this is the correct way that I'm supposed to speak Tagalog or like any other fucking language,
right.
like, but to simply put it to a point of like, hey man, you don't understand. We're black, so this is how we do it. I rest my case.
Oh, case closed.
I rest my case.
I was like, I rest my case. Yo, and the court decides in favor of Mr. Holder.
You have to.
Well done.
You have to, man. And like at a certain point, you have to be able to look at these things and just argue it from like a certain vantage point. But here's the thing, right? That bitch could turn out to be a self-hating black motherfucking whore, and that could all be true. But does it make anything that she said untrue? Now, shout out to Gothics, man. I do want to point this out, man. She's an OG on Twitch. I won't say she's an OG on YouTube, but she recently jumped off the mainline conservative boat, and she got married, became an Orthodox Christian, however you choose to determine that. I have noticed that her channel has taken a huge hit because she's not doing the type of content she used to do, which is like, you know, what is a woman type stuff. Now she does like more biblically centered stuff. So I just want to give her a quick shout out for staying the course, man. I know those dollars start to shrink up once you stop doing the pandering for the conservative side.
Those satanic dollars, which brings me
next
to our next story. Our friend Andrew Tate has gotten himself in trouble again, and I think it's worth.
I think you're gonna want to revise the words "gotten himself in trouble." Did you read the article?
Yeah.
This is another light-skinned nigga being persecuted.
Is that your official take, though?
That's not my.
Like he's being persecuted.
Well, here's the thing, right? The man did have. This is where I struggle with the Andrew Tate situation, right? Lack of proof. But I hear the thing that triggers me is I hear cam girls, and I know that they all 11 of them could have been willing participants, and I believe that they are. I'm talking about the unreasonable response where I'm like, what if they get him on that thing he didn't expect? So this story we're about to get into, in actuality, is about him being detained by the Romanian police for whatever reason, and now they're saying that he can be extradited to the UK for charges. And if you know anything, he's got some charges pending from some women from back in the day that originally was thrown out by their, those old white men in the wigs with the curly shit.
Yeah.
They threw the charges out because of lack of evidence, but now they're reopening the charges. So yeah. Do I think he's guilty? No. I don't. Do I think he's going to jail? Yes. Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Finishing up the chat before we hit that up, Roxanne says, but this is just explaining how certain vernacular works. I don't see it as passing judgment. It's clearly passing judgment. It's it's clearly taking a side, and they're saying it's valid. They're saying that this broken version of English is valid.
And they want to teach other people how to speak it.
And she's also claiming, her claim was also that it lasts for, she's like, it's 400 years. They did not speak this same type of vernacular, because that's what vernacular is. It's ever changing. 400 years ago, or 300 years ago, or 200 years ago. They didn't speak the same vernacular 50 years ago.
Yeah, but here's my problem. If all these things were true, would it not matter if, they didn't need a black woman up there, but the marketing behind this babble
would never work with a white chick. Imagine a blonde chick being like,
no, I'm saying
white guys.
What if we got an Asian?
And let me ask you, is there Asian American vernacular? AAVE? I don't know. Do we all get them? Is there Indian American vernacular?
Bro, we'd have to do a fanboy after dark. So there's another side to this argument that's really, really unsavory, and I just don't feel like having it on polite fanboy. But there's another side of this argument and the impact of AVE and all that shit. So let's just move right along to fucking Candace. I don't even want to get into Andrew Tate. Let's get to Candace Owens and Destiny.
Well, okay, so since I've already queued up him, we're gonna quickly.
Why do we have to persecute the light skins, man? Why do we have to persecute
We're
them?
gonna see what he had to say after he got arrested. For those who don't know, he got arrested for supposedly claiming, plotting to leave the country, although they didn't actually catch him leaving the country.
No, they didn't catch him doing shit, bro. They caught this nigga going to get pizza.
yeah, he's getting pizza, and they're like, we heard you're trying to leave the country. Arrested. And once again, I'm not trying to say that he's totally being railroaded. I do think he's like a scumbag, but I think they need to chill a little.
Why do you think he's a scumbag, if you don't mind me asking? And I'm not defending him. I just want to know why you think he's a scumbag.
So things I have seen him say, actually see, and people are like, oh, show me the video. I don't need to show anyone videos.
No, I'll trust you. I trust you.
Yeah. No, but I'm saying I've seen him say shitty things about women. You know what I mean? He's a scumbag like that. You know what I mean?
I mean, he says some shitty stuff about guys too, man. Just the portion about him saying that he helped use women to prey on, innocent men to get their money. That shit's shitty.
Yeah, he is clearly a dirtbag. The problem is, and I've always said it. I think that some people want to be framed, and a lot of people are like, "What are you talking about, Mantis? What does that mean?" Here's what it is.
They want to be martyrs.
I think he's a scumbag who didn't realize the thunder was going to come for him, and once the thunder came, they just brought up all his image, and they're using his image as a dirtbag against him.
So
it was easy to frame.
I agree with that. I agree with what you're saying. On the flip side of that, what if he really does want to be martyred? I don't think sometimes that we think 3 steps ahead in this conversation. What if Andrew Tate really is okay with the position he's in, being martyred in front of all the millions of his fans? I know it sounds far-fetched. Stick with me for a second.
Okay.
If this guy is convicted, how likely do you think that his fans are going to say he was wrongfully convicted? Just answer that one question right there.
Yeah, I mean, they'll never admit to it.
Okay. Do you think there's some overlap?
Just like Donald Trump, right?
Boom! Do you think there's some overlap between Andrew Tate's followers and Donald Trump's? Most people could say this is a red herring. They could say it's a straw man argument. But do you think that there's some overlap between these two communities at all?
Yeah, so I'm gonna. Oh, absolutely. So there is an. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna sound like a lunatic, and there's
no.
Somewhere there's some girl watching on Twitch who's just like, Ew, these guys are cringe. Okay, just hear me out before you flip out. And I've said it before. We live in the age of the triggered women. And so what it was is that back in the day, men used to say to women gentlemanly things, and then we used to go to our fraternity houses or our clubs or gentlemen's clubs, and that's when we would talk shit about women, right? We were like, bitches ain't shit, blah, 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 look at this hoe, blah, blah, blah. Well, we wouldn't say it out public, and that's how we ruled the world. That's how we ruled everything. And so in the age of the internet and the lack of having etiquette,
right
now the red pill, not just the red pill, but a lot of people like Donald Trump and Tate are now saying what's on their mind. And women who have lived for millennium of men having to watch what they have to say are now offended by this to the point where they're like, arrest that man.
Right.
And there's a contingent of people who want to respond to that, who are like, yes, let's arrest them. And they're like, why? They're like, we're just disgusted about who they are. And that's what it is. They're getting arrested because people are disgusted by their image, their macho image.
Well, here's the thing, man. Between the two, right? I think there's enough evidence and compelling evidence to bring a case to court. I don't know if there's enough evidence to convict for Andrew Tate, man. I agree with everything you just. I agree with everything you just said, man, and about the triggered woman. But I also think it's the triggered man thing. I think it's the faux male feminist. I think it's the
beta male is
actually.
On that.
I feel like we fell for the okie doke a couple of times, man, in our generation. After 9/11, do you remember the quote unquote campaign of fear brought to us, exposed to us by Michael Moore? Do you remember watching Fahrenheit 9/11?
I do.
Don't act like you didn't love the movie, man. That was a pivotal documentary for all of us. We were like,
at the time I liked it, but young Mantis was a fucking idiot.
Well, allow me to.
I want to go back in time and bitch slap him for being such a crackhead.
But you would never learn kung fu then.
That's true.
But just think about that for a second. Michael Moore could very well be a psychopath, but he did point out something that we all implement nowadays in our understanding. Well, you and I implement the campaign of fear, right? The campaign of widespread fear brought to us by what we now popularize as the term is the mainstream media, which is amazing to me because the motherfucker who said it, most people hate it. I feel like we are reliving the campaign of fear right now, and no one sees the jokes. Here's some more hood shit for you. No one sees the okie doke happening, right? But most people are going to vote based off of that. And when I look at the Andrew Tate and the Donald Trump and the Joe Biden, the State of the Union situation, everything is fear-mongering to the umpteenth degree.
Yeah.
And everyone's going to vote, whether they be right, left, or libertarian, or independent, based off of these fear-mongering situations, man.
I have to say, I actually have come to this determination, and I know you're gonna be like, duh, whatever, but like, I actually think that political parties are sinful and unbiblical.
What the duh! Like, yes,
the grouping of teams turning on each other to just oppose someone other group and be like and to fearmonger against them and to slander them. They slander each other left and right.
Yo, I think it's interesting, man. Killer Mike is not someone I would call a thought-provoking person. I
wouldn't have thought that. I think he supposedly he is, right? Yeah.
I respect Killer Mike in this sense, man. And if you can't get behind this, then just deal with the facts, right? He has invested a lot of money into his local community. Respect. He has done that. Most of you motherfuckers on the internet have never given $5 to the homeless person in your community. A lot of you motherfuckers won't even do that shit. But he did bring up a point that I thought was very valid. Don't get caught up in the Super Bowl of politics. I'm paraphrasing. He's like, most people are caught up in the Super Bowl version of politics. My team versus your team. But you have no interest in local level governmental elections or anything like that, man. And to my woke revolutionary friends who are just like the entire system is corrupt, yes, but you still are trying to run a candidate on the independent. Never mind. In regards to Andrew Tate, man, I just feel like this is a black man being persecuted. I don't understand why more people aren't coming to his defense. Is this not a black man being persecuted?
I don't think he's being persecuted for any racial stuff. I think he's being persecuted, like I said, because he was a public jerk. Right?
I don't know, man. I see a black man being lauded out in front of a bunch of white people.
Well, let's see. This is only a minute and 19 seconds of him leaving.
Amazing.
Tell us, please, what do you think about the decision for today?
I want to give absolute credit to Romanian justice for making the correct decision today. Unfortunately, I don't think many people in Romania understand, but in the West, in the countries that are owned by the Satanists, when you get to a certain level of fame, you either put on a dress or you go to jail, and I'm happy to make my choice, which is jail every single time. My soul is not for sale, neither are my principles. We are innocent men. No, we're very innocent men, and in time, everybody's going to see that, and we're very excited to finish this judicial process and clear our names.
You are free for now, but still the Romanian court approved extradition to the UK after the trial is over here.
It's very funny because I've been asking Romanian courts to go to the UK myself. I've asked 5 times and been declined. So now I get to go home. That's fantastic.
You will be in the jail again at the final of the process. What do you think about that?
We'll see.
Oh, what measures are there?
I sent you a clip. Can you play the clip I sent you?
Yeah. So just real quick, I have to say that is really pimp.
Yeah, that was an amazing response.
Amazing response that he says. He's like, in the West, most law enforcement agencies are run by Satanists.
Yeah.
He says
you got to know how to play the game. You have to know how to pander.
He said you either put on a dress or go to jail, and he's happy to take his stand and go to jail because his principles and his soul isn't for sale. That is really good,
and it rhymed.
Yeah, he's you know what it is? When he hits rock bottom, he can be a rapper.
Yo, here's the crazy thing. They've seized like $5.6 million worth of assets from him illegally in Romania. Cars, cash. No, the cash itself, I think, came up to like 5.6 million. Cars and other things. Like, at a certain point, what do we do if we find out Andrew Tate, and I'm not saying he is, what do we do if we find out he's innocent? What do we do? Like, what are you going to do?
Do you not? Here's what I'm saying. You're the lead on this, and you don't see it. Part of this is definitely let's rob this motherfucker. I know that.
The question I'm asking is more like that lazy community college professor. What does it do to your worldview if he's found innocent? What if he goes through this entire process in Romania, goes back to the UK, and then, based on the shaky evidence, which they denied originally in regards to these women's claims, is acquitted? What does that do? Where does that leave us? What happens after that?
Well, for people who were so sure he was bad, they will say, the courts are corrupt. He paid them off. Russian bots. The hubris of the defeated is endless. The defeated often love to make crazy claims about why they lost and, whatever. There was sunlight in my eyes. It's all fucking stupid. Because they can't accept it.
Say that again. The hubris of the what? That was amazing.
Of the defeated.
That is, you don't have to say anything else. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Amazing. That's amazing. I really, it's a good turn of phrase right there. Can we get to Candace Owens finally, man? Can we get to Candace Owens?
Yeah. Okay, so Tate, you dunzo. We just think he's a novelty. He's great. I can't wait to see this played out, though. Am I right?
Actually, in actuality, man, I do enjoy Andrew Tate as a case study, man. He's an interesting guy, man. Like, to hear him talk about his dad, to hear Tristan talk about his dad, it's interesting, heartwarming, scary, interesting at the same time. Shout out to the Tate brothers. Those poor light-skinned kings being persecuted.
shit.
No black person wants to come to their aid, man.
So I've got multiple ones up. So let's hope I got the right one. But we'll watch multiple ones if we need to.
Oof. Candace Owens, before you click this, right? She's really good at this, man. She's taken 3 public L's, but the one I'm going to talk about right now is the Joe Rogan interview, specifically when he brought up climate change. She was wrong on this. She said she believes climate change is politicized. That's not the question Joe Rogan was asking. He asked her a very clear question. Is climate change real? To say it's politicized is you're moving the goalposts, you're going to lose that argument. Right. I believe climate change is real. I believe it's real, 100%. She's gotten better at answering that. And then also, I just want to point out that she is a dark-skinned woman, so we have to take everything she says with the omission that she's telling the truth. Would you agree with those parameters?
Wait, what?
She's a dark-skinned black woman.
So continue.
Everything that comes out of her mouth is truth.
Well, thank you, Mr. White Man, for sharing. So we will not.
No. I'm setting up the criteria, man. We're following it.
We do not accept that.
Wait,
I'm gonna call bullshit. I'm gonna call bullshit on bullshit.
Light skins tell lie, dark skin tell truth.
Wait, what? No, it's the opposite.
Play the video.
What are you trying to do? What purpose are you trying to fulfill? When you, as a 35-year-old man, see me sitting down with these young women trying to say, you don't need to do this, you don't have to do this for money, and you like attack it and try to be like, Candace is just a bitch, or like whatever, like she's blah, 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 she's just being a high school mean girl. It's like, no, I am trying to tell these women that they are worth more. And when I said to that girl at the end of it, which I don't believe you showed, that I will pray for you and that you can do much more than this, that came from the heart, actually.
No, that is the most condescending thing a religious person could say to a non-religious person. I will pray for you.
I see.
Listen, I did a part 1 to this conversation. I'll leave a link to it down in the description box down below. Maybe the comment box as well. Go down there, check it out, get yourself caught up. This half of the conversation gets so damn spicy. Shout out to Candace Owens. Shout out to Destiny.
Okay, final question.
I think, by the way, women, by the way, all across the board are graduating at higher rates than men. Mm-hmm. But I do want to say, because I do want to make a point about what you do. Because I did see that you did a video and you were like taking the side of hoes. Like you saw this Candace.
Did she say selfish bitch? I must have misheard.
It's a selfish should mention not marrying her.
Holy. Oh, I'm going to get triggered. I feel like I might lose my mind this episode. I agree that these people can be cringe sometimes, but you're saying she's a narcissistic that men shouldn't marry? You're taking that so far.
It's a partnership. It's a bond. It's forever. But there's no difference between dating and marriage.
There is a difference. You just ignored it because you've got a dialogue tree and a narrative you want to push, and you're not going to engage with anything she's saying. She gave you a perfectly legitimate answer. It is a more permanent form of relationship. It's solidified by law. It's not something you just walk away from or break up from. It's a commitment, ideally for lifetime. She gave you a good answer. You just don't like to hear it because it was a good one, and you would expect a random OnlyFans girl to give you one. And now you're surprised that a bunch of girls that you thought were just going to be titty bangers are actually giving you a run for your money.
You're still talking.
What?
Okay.
I'm so insecure.
So I actually brought this up before on Fanboy Modeling School, and I remember DT Dub and a few other people. I was like, I do not like this form of debate. I do not like this form of debate on the internet, which is me talking really fast and blah, 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 and then espousing whatever it might be, some experiential.
People can't keep track, and they like, how's that a debate?
Here's the deal, right? Destiny 100% will support an OnlyFans girl, but he will occasionally point out that some of their claims are erroneous, right? But I believe that with his own life change situation going on, his wife leaving him for her version of the deer hunter.
You notice I perked up and I smirked right there. I couldn't help but crack a Kool-Aid smile. I think he's a dick. I'm glad his woman left him. Continue.
Wow. I can't disagree with that, man, because it's like the progressive relationship you were describing that you wanted. I don't wish any ill on Destiny. but this is like the intellectual conclusion of it, right?
Yes. that everyone warned him about. Everyone warned him that they're like open relationships, whatever you want to call it, swinging or whatever.
Right.
It's not healthy for you and your relationship. And
No.
he went on countless podcasts arguing that he's like, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm all hip and new. I'm a content creator.
I didn't sign a prenup.
Yeah, I didn't sign a prenup. He's just like, I invented reality. People before me don't know shit. And then he was really smug that he knew what was going on. And we're all idiots because we believe in marriage or some shit.
But here's the craziest part,
I'm
man.
glad it fell apart in this.
Here's the craziest part. Somewhere between, I agree with you, man. Somewhere between the extremes, the polar extremes exist the truth, right? You know, the polar extremes for me personally represent vested interest. Whenever someone's extremely right or extremely left, if I have a conversation with them, I can see their vested interest in having that view, right?
Right. Absolutely, yeah.
I'm not judging it. I'm just saying that there's a vested interest. With Destiny, he has this kind of we believe in nothing, Big Lebowski nihilist view.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's the point, bruv?
What is the point, right?
What is the fucking point? Like, what is the point? You've gone on Fresh and Fit. You debated those guys. You've been friends with Sneeko. You guys are off. You've agreed with Sneeko. You teamed up against Rolo. What's the fucking point, man? At a certain point, as a man, as a human being, there has to be a line that you stand on. And this is where I think it's really, really bad to get into a conversation with a person like Candace, even if I'm not declaring her as her reasoning being altruistic. She's going to argue the line. You follow me? Maybe one day we can get big enough where we can do visual representation. Destiny's logic goes like this, right? It's wavering, progressive.
Okay.
Candace argues the medium. What's the point? And that's why I think he looks like a fool here, because you cannot make a legible argument why a woman should be a whore, considering all the reasons why she should not be. Do you understand what I'm saying, bro?
Yeah, no, I feel you.
Like, you can't make that argument. Like, you can't make the argument. Go play the video. I'm sorry.
No. It's
coming out of it. The women today are very low value.
I'm not bashing. Hold on. I'm not bashing. The women are low value, that they're going to have worse relationships and lives, and they're going to be unhappy. But I'm not bashing them.
What's so interesting about this is I did a reaction to this Candace Owens video, and I absolutely love her particular comments. I thought that it painted the picture of the modern woman correctly, calling out an OnlyFans bimbo for her reprehensible decision to become a OnlyFans bimbo when the young woman seemed at least sorta intelligent, I think represents that. But this Destiny right here was pre-divorce Destiny. This Destiny had not yet referred to his ex-wife in worse words than bimbo. But let's keep going.
Absolutely fascinating to see how someone's mind can be so warped. You know, in the same way that I think it's fascinating.
Fat bro.
It's fascinating. Yeah.
To, you know, your lifestyle.
No, you're not respectful.
I'm sitting down with Hose on the whatever podcast, and you
were being so rude to that lady that made the TikTok.
I did not hear that. All right.
But the point is that you then went through this.
Called her a bitch.
You then went through this video.
Wait, say that again.
Read Roxanne's comment.
Did you all hear about the creator of X-Men? Yes, actually, that's so crazy. I literally had the Tyrone Magnus video up a second ago. Being fired by Disney, he's a gay black man, and rumor is that he was fired for having an OnlyFans account. That sounds
family content. It's family content.
I think that's probably unlikely. I bet there's more to that story, but.
More to what story? That he had an OnlyFans?
I think nowadays an OnlyFans doesn't get you fired, particularly from places like Disney, right? So
they're in a bad spot right now, man. So,
but do you think they suddenly became family friendly again?
X-Men 97 animated? Yes, I do. I think actually, I think there's a certain point where they're just like, no one gives a fuck about you being gay. But we all understand now that OnlyFans is porn, And if you can't have it up on the hub, okay, let me pose the question to you. If he had content up on Pornhub, would this be a story?
Well, you're saying you don't think he would be fired?
No, he'd be fired and no one would give a fuck. Like the minute Pornhub was associated with it, no one would give a fuck. But somehow OnlyFans is the sanitized version of porn.
Right.
OnlyFans. Yeah. It's like back when a girl would tell you, like, I do posing for artistic painting.
Oh. you know, when a girl, remember guys, when you meet a girl and she says she's a dancer, make sure you find out what kind of dancer. Right. Pokey says, well, a cooking / musician OF is right. Yeah, that's what he had. He was cooking recipes and he was playing the banjo and being wholesome as fuck.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
And just tried to justify these lifestyles, right?
I don't think I was trying to justify the lifestyle. What I was doing was I was fighting it back against the insane judgment from one side to the other. We live in America. People should be able to live the lifestyles they want. And as long as they're not harming other people, I think everybody has the right to pursue that.
This is that woke ass shit, okay? No, I think that there's certain structures and or boundaries and or frameworks that you should adhere to if you want a happy life. I think most of us would want a happy life, but they're looking at lifestyles of people that do not add up to a happy life. It's like they give the highlights of their goddamn life. Oh, OnlyFans. Oh, I make all of this goddamn money, not realizing that you're becoming closer and closer to Satan. Okay? Living in a limitless or boundaryless world is like allowing a baby to eat all of the cake and ice cream that it wants. If you do that, well, it's harmful to that baby's body.
Let's bring that back.
That's why school. Most of us would want a happy life, but they're looking at lifestyles of people that do not add up to a happy life. It's like they give the highlights of their goddamn life. Oh, OnlyFans. Oh, I make all of this goddamn money, not realizing that you're becoming closer and closer to Satan. Okay?
He said
living in a limitless or boundaryless world is like allowing a baby to eat all of the cake and ice cream that it wants. If you do that, well, it's harmful to that baby's body. You need to that's why school is a thing. That's why they teach us things. Maybe school is not such the best example, but you understand what I mean. Let's go.
I say to people that are watching this, to anybody that you follow, literally, you should take a measure and really ask yourself whether or not that person is telling you that stuff because they believe it,
or whether
or not that person is telling you something that ultimately it feels good because then it means that you can remove yourself from responsibility. Oh, I see. Yeah, it's fine. I can be a hoe, whatever. But is going to lead you to misery, right?
Right.
And so I tell people, you know, I've seen a lot. I've been through a lot. I've lived through a lot. Very proud of myself where I've ended up. And I'm trying to provide people the shortcuts. And I'm trying to tell you that, yes, I understand that as a young woman, if you jump onto OnlyFans, you can make money. And you can make money very quickly. But I am also telling you that if you do that, you will,
you're Lilith.
The overwhelming majority of people, can you find an exception? Sure, will regret that sort of a lifestyle.
Absolutely.
I probably agree with you.
To these young people that are listening to you doing the like, YOLO, if it makes you happy, don't telling you,
no.
Like, throw this out. It is trash. Like,
I agree. You shouldn't do OnlyFans as a young person.
Should not be aspiring to.
When did Destiny become a purveyor of what is correct? Look at this guy. If he was in the coffee shop next to you, you would not listen to a word he said. I listen to Destiny because he is wildly intelligent. But when it comes to moralistic things, not someone I'm going to take advice from.
Right.
It's just not, interesting take. Oh, okay. Yeah, I could see how Bitcoin is an interesting thing.
Yeah, but definitely through moral stuff, I wouldn't follow. He's basically a vagrant with a mic, and as I pointed out, it's a blue mic, which makes him even more of a bitch. So that's a baby bottle from Blue microphones. So there's something wrong with this guy.
The fuck, bro? They're one of our sponsors. Understand why I have to re-explain this shit to you over and over again.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Let's get back to this wonderful video that was produced by Blue Microphones. Here we go.
Do only this young person.
Relationships.
You should go to college and get a degree instead.
Somebody that's just holding up a mirror to tell you that you're great and you're doing amazing. Like,
whoa. Let's go.
Is your cursor red?
No, that wasn't me, right?
Oh, that's mediocre tutorial. Yeah. Never mind. Go ahead.
So I was gonna shit on him joking about college. He literally laughed at the idea of people going to college and getting jobs. He was like, "Oh, I guess we'll all go to college and get a good job." And he's laughing at this idea. Totally insane, right?
I mean,
because his alternative is saying you should do porn.
But that's the problem when you're dealing with the sanitized version of something, right, man? Listen, man, when it comes to porn affliction and all these things, man, we're all guilty of it. We all, in some way, shape, or form, deal with peddling flesh, right? And it's become normalized on a very easy societal level. When I see Destiny as someone that I'm not sure what he's arguing for or against anymore.
Right.
Because when I listen to his commentary against the red pill, I'm like, man, he makes some valid points. Up until a point where it's like, well, you're dealing with logic now. Right? When he gets to a point in the red pill argument where it's like, hey, you should not deal with a man or a woman that tells you are worth less than what you are and wants to be in an open relationship with you. Right. That's not a relationship. That's some new societal term that was shifting on it. But I just want to go here for a second. We have said multiple times on this show, whether you agree with her or disagree with her, Candace Owens is not someone you casually sit down with. And I don't know how many more times she has to do this to people publicly. She does not have to win 75% of the argument, Mantis. She doesn't even have to win 65%.
Right.
She literally has to do better than 49%. 49% of the argument, talking points where people can identify with what she's saying for her to be correct. At what point do you start taking her serious as a political commentator? At what point do you realize you're not just talking to someone that's regurgitating points, but can actually move the needle?
Well, I'm like really confused as to why she's even on at Destiny's.
Because she goes on to these things, man, understanding something. We talked about this on Fanboy like 3 years ago. We did an episode where we talked about how the political right does not understand social media and does not understand culture. Well, guess what, motherfucker? They caught up in 3 fucking years, bro.
No, it's right. Absolutely, you're right. They are getting into culture. They're getting into to the fun space. They're fun. They're like, we used to be lame Republicans, but now we're fun. Yeah, guys. You know, they're making balloon animals and shit.
Right.
I feel you. Yeah, this is what she's doing, and that's smart, actually.
Yeah, and she's on here, man, and this is nothing against Destiny, because I do respect him as a political commentator. I don't respect the type of debate that he is a part of sometimes. She's on here because she understands the social capital if she bodies this fool. And if she bodies Destiny, it only emboldens her own audience, man. And whether or not you agree with me or disagree with me, man, Candace Owens being on this type of show raises her profile. And when you don't allow her access, it diminishes yours, right? So people are going back and forth about why she's on the Joe Budden show. Why can't she be on there? Like, why can't she be on there? Yeah, but at any rate, man, play the video. I can see Mantis is getting tired. Yo, I've been fired up since 4:26 a.m.
Well, you realize we can't finish this episode without talking about Rusty.
I was hoping we could finish this episode without talking about Rusty. Goodbye, Candace. I just want to point out. I just want to point out that Candace's, leg looks particularly thick there, but just for those type of people who are into that type of shit.
We love you, Candace. We absolutely love you. But that being said, we need to find
depressing shit right here, man.
Is it real? That's the biggest. That is the biggest question. I put this motherfucker on our cover. So we're going to get down to it. We're going to get down to the nitty and the gritty, right? And so, oh, Jesus. Sorry. Did I say that out loud? Sorry, guys.
Oh, my God.
Let's get on to this. So we're going to talk about Rusty Cage right now, guys. And I think a lot of you probably either know him or at least know about his current shenanigans. Or so this is his live stream.
This shit is crazy.
This shit is totally crazy. So this is his live stream, and it is referred to as the Guillotine Party.
I want to say, first and foremost, I did not want to talk about this. I don't want to talk about this.
And
bro.
I would like to point out that Steven, that's right, you, Steven, were the one who sent me this story when we were looking for stories.
I know. I sent it to you because I was just sending it to my friend. I didn't know you were going to become a fucking topic about it.
It's crazy because what's funny is you sent it a couple days ago because you thought we were going to go on tomorrow, and this guy still hasn't been reported on, so people don't know anything about where his whereabouts or anything. So for those who don't know what's going on, here I'm going to play it a little, but we can talk over it because
my goodness,
this guy literally sits here like that. This is Rusty Cage. He is the most emo live streamer ever.
Late as usual. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
I'm sorry to laugh. I'm in monster for laugh. I know I'm
Rewind
monster
the
for
chat,
laughing.
please.
But he's a little intense, right? He's a super intense dude.
Very intense.
So, if anyone was wondering what is going on, so he has built
yes,
a guillotine and decided to have a live stream around it.
Is there an echo? Or does it all sound good?
So let's jump around what this live stream is. Right? He calls it the Guillotine Party. Let's see what kind of partying's going on, right?
Guys.
Look.
Okay. Before we get here, let's really quantify it, man. And I've been saying for years, man, that we are desensitized when it comes to the type of content we consume. I remember when I moved in with my then fiance, now wife, and the first time she ever put on a show called Locked Up for me, I was like, what the fuck? People watch this shit? And she's like, yeah, this is one of the most popular shows in America. It's like 2013, 2014, man.
Right.
And I'm like, this is not good. That was my opinion.
But this is people's entertainment. Notice the word entertainment, I said. People are getting their jollies off of this shit, right?
Here we are now after many years of various shows about housewives and Kardashians and hip hop, and it's love and First 48, and now we're on YouTube with a man that's clearly building a guillotine. I don't know what it was. Maybe you can answer this. What was this content like prior to this day? Was he a shock content creator?
So he is perpetually will not make you feel better. He's depressed, is constantly bitching about society or depressed. He's known as like the most emo streamer ever. He, as you can tell, he's very intense, and he's just like, yo, man, this all sucks, man. It's just like he plays classical music and he critiques classical music, but that's not only his content. Like normal YouTubers, he does various things, but he rides the dark side of it.
But has he built a guillotine in previous episodes or other suicide?
So he's done live streams while he was building it, but this is what he calls the Guillotine Party. He's finally ready to reveal the guillotine.
So let's say at the far end of this, right? He actually has gone through what he said he has. Well, YouTube, you spent way too much time and resources on policing one side of your division and not policing the other, right? Because the algorithm should have picked up on this. Did he build this thing on air multiple times?
Yes, he did. He has streams in his thing called Building a Guillotine, part 1, 2, and 3.
Bro, would you not tell me I'm the fucking king of the internet? If the YouTube algorithm did not fucking figure this shit out, man.
I agree.
Yep, I will be your personal defense attorney because this shit is complicit and liable.
Yeah.
You have been banning motherfuckers from using words that start with the F, M, N, or anything in between. But you didn't, if this is true, you didn't see this motherfucker building a guillotine. I'm lying.
Yes, the depressed kid is building a guillotine. No one said anything. However, if you're a conservative and you use the T word, and I mean the word Trump, you somehow get banned. If you talk about election interference as a conservative, you are thrown the fuck off of this platform.
Or if you said now what that the fucking CD, whatever who deals with the diseases that
Right,
COVID, CDC, COVID is basically the common cold.
Oh, forget about it. Gestapo will show up at your door. You will be dragged away.
Oh my goodness.
However, some emo kid who has a history of depression can continue to build his guillotine on lives.
Put this blade on is a little wonky because it's very precarious.
Right, and so he's testing it.
As the lubricant, it works well under outdoor conditions and isn't water-based, so you don't have to worry
and he just
about
talks about the
drying out.
guillotine.
Thank you. Thank you, ketchup packet.
I'm starting to
What do y'all think of the color? It really did
I
turn out
don't
a
like
lot
this
darker than
because
I
it
wanted.
actually screams someone that's going to do something extreme to themselves. Why did no one understand that something weird was going to happen when he What the fuck is wrong with you people? 3 episodes on YouTube building this thing and no one thought to themselves like, wow, that's a real blade.
Yeah, right, absolutely. And so I'm saying, I know you're having a hard one with this.
No, not a hard one. I'm not in any way, shape, or form having hard anything. I am completely dismayed and distraught by this shit.
Do you want me to jump to the end?
Sure, why not, motherfucker?
Or should I say, the last time we see our host? So, and we haven't said it yet, and people might be wondering what's going on. But at a certain point when he's ready to end his party, which is
how long is the duration of the stream? It was like 6 hours, you told me, or some shit.
No, so it's 1 hour. It's 1 hour 26 minutes, but around 1 hour he decides to end the stream, right? And so let's see what he has to say.
Your call has been forwarded to voice.
Not a good look. If this was real, I feel like this video would be down by now.
Chop this watermelon.
I agree. That's one of the reasons. You hear that? He says we got to
just the watermelon, guys.
He says we're gonna chop this watermelon. I agree with you. That is why that I'm kind of like smirking, laughing, and going with this. Is that I do believe that if they had researched it, and it's probably easier for them than us to determine if this kid actually hurt himself. But they would have totally not allowed this up. And it's been up for 2 days.
Remember when we used to watch public access growing up in New York? I don't know what public access is like for everyone else. That's what YouTube is like on steroids, man. YouTube is public access New York, late 80s, early 90s.
3 in the morning, you see weird ass shit.
Way blown out for millions, billions of people to see, man. It's just fucking nuts, bro. Go ahead. I did, folks. I want you to know that Mantis, like, he didn't talk me into this, but this is not my bag, man. I like this type of shit.
Here's what it is. We need to talk about it because this is what people are talking about. And this
no, I'm not mad at you.
Right?
It's just like I'm a pussy when it comes to this type of shit. I'm a pussy. I'm sorry. I'm not a pussy. I am a transgendered, non-cis.
Way to make it weirder. So he says he's going to prepare this.
Oh, shit. He looks like a man prepping himself for some shit.
Yes, he does. I think that's why a lot of people believe that happened. He claims he's about to do a watermelon.
Just a watermelon. Yeah.
And this is still up on YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So we see him there in the frame.
Right. And so...
Okay.
All right, pause it real quick, man, because I actually saw a video, not a video, I saw a picture where his head was in the guillotine. Does that picture come up in this shit at all?
No. I don't know what that is, but...
I think it was like on Hollywood Report or some uncreditable source.
I mean, maybe when he was building it, he did it, but I didn't see it in this thing. But like he said, like I said, he puts the camera on the side. He's there. But just check this out. You can hear, right?
Unfortunately, yeah, I can.
That happens at 1:03, 1 hour 3 minutes. And it keeps going to it's just this shot for the next 25 minutes. And then suddenly stops. And so he is not uploaded in the last 2 days.
Okay, so let's deal with the obvious stuff, right? So nothing in regard to police response or anything like that?
I haven't heard any of that.
So that's what makes me raise my first eyebrow.
You're right, because news would be like YouTuber kills himself with that.
Right, 100%. And I looked it up before. Well, I gotta use the bathroom. I'll be right back. Continue to talk to people.
So wholesome. And then Usagi says, I just came back. What the fuck are you watching? So Usagi, I don't know if you saw the end of this or what was going on with this whole thing. So this was Rusty Cage. He's a very emo, very stressed out white boy who may or may not have killed himself on stream. And so his video remains up, which is why we think that it's a hoax. But he created a guillotine, and he made it in his live streams. And finally, he has a live stream he's very disconnected, very upset, very emo in his video. And finally, he's like, "Yo, guys, I'm gonna chop a watermelon," and he moves his camera, and you're just looking out into the middle of nowhere, and you hear the guillotine fall. Something gets chopped. You hear the sound of liquids or fluids flowing. And ultimately, for the last 2 days, no one has heard from him or seen him. But Steve brings out an important point. If he had done this, surely news or someone, or at least local news, would have checked on him.
I am currently scouring the internet right now because the first time I was exposed to this, I sent you this link, and I think, who's it from? Is it Hollywood Reporter or someone like that? Is Rusty Cage alive?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so some article says he is still alive. This is all a prank. Let's see what that is. No confirmation of Rusty Cage. You see how they do. Rusty Cage is alive or dead. Keemstar updates community. Keemstar following YouTuber's alleged self-decapitation via guillotine. And controversial internet personality Daniel Keemstar has provided an update on YouTuber Rusty Cage for those out of the loop. The content creator went viral on March 11, 2024 after hosting a 1 hour and 28-minute live stream titled Rusty Cage Guillotine Part Live. At the 1 hour mark, the YouTuber panned the camera away from himself and allegedly self-decapitated himself. His antics quickly went viral on social media platforms like YouTube and Reddit, with numerous naysayers weighing in on the situation. While some believe the streamer's actions were a prank, YouTuber user at creepily speculated that he killed off his online persona. Interesting. Roxanne said I call hoax. Okay. Nothing yet. I mean, nothing yet that says that he's actually dead, man. And I feel like if someone actually killed themselves on YouTube, man, this would be the thing that many people in the political arena were looking for, right?
Would drop down like saying like a bird of prey and be like, "I will eat you, motherfucker!"
I mean, I want to say for the record, I hope he is not dead.
I hope he's not dead as well.
I hope that.
He seems like a nice white boy.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, I agree. Once that happened, for starters, the police would report it and the news would go nuts. The news would 100%. Eat this up. They're like, YouTuber decapitates himself
100%
on a live stream. And that would be used. You're right. Political people would use it on both sides to be like, we need to ban YouTube. We need to ban all this streaming.
Right.
You know? Yeah, absolutely. So you are right. And so unless he doesn't have people who care for him and they don't know how to check out on him, he is probably fine. And he's going to get, and trust me, when he returns, his live stream is going to be 2 million deep. You know what I mean? He's going to have a lot of people up in there.
Bro, but on the other hand, if this shit is real and we all just got our very first, no, maybe not our very first, but if we got another representation of the faces of death, fuck you, Rusty. Because here's the problem, right? I wish you had not gone out like this. I wish that whatever pain caused you to do something like this could have been prevented. But eventually, this is going to make its way onto the desk of someone who should not see it, i.e. someone that's 12 and some parent not monitoring what their kid's watching. And we can go into that argument, but man, if your kid can't not wake up tomorrow and see someone offing themselves, there's a difference between the casualties of war versus someone committing suicide.
Absolutely, I agree.
So it's crazy. I hope it's a hoax. I feel like it's a hoax.
And for all of you, this is your internet. Oh wait, yo, Roxanne. You said you were going to share all of Sean King's nicknames. Before we close out on this episode, I want to know what
what is it? Martin Luther what?
Actually, let's check it out.
Do you feel like we made some headway tonight, though, man? I feel like pause. I feel like we made some, we debunked some fucking stigmas against light-skinned people, right?
I don't think we got anywhere. Here's what I'm saying. Me and you got someplace, but society, even if they watch this, they're just as lost. They're just as lost, and they're like,
do you feel
okay? So what you're saying is we should lynch the paleskins.
Do you feel like that in the conversation of AVE, that we made some headway.
I really hope that we're able to influence people to stay the fuck away from that. It will make you stupid. Pay attention to your English teacher. And, chill, yo. Just chill.
What if you're a revolutionary? And in being revolutionary, you are trying to revolutionize the use of the colonized version of English.
Yo, look at this. Yo, Roxanne says, Assalamu alaikum. For those who don't know what we're doing right now, Sean King, a guy who hasn't been confirmed to be black because he refused to show his genetic. I'm
really sure he's white, right?
So here's his story. He is from a white family and all this shit. Right. And so then after his father left the picture, the rumor was that his mom had an affair with a black guy. And so he started to use this as grift. His grift. He's like, oh, I'm part black. I'm going to be super black. I'm going to be super black. And people were like, why don't you just do a genetics test and show us? He has refused to show people his genetics test. It would have been that simple. But he claims that he's like, oh, my father's white, but really, that's not my real father. My real father is a black guy my mom had an affair with. So it already starts at some crazy shit, right?
Right.
He does everything in his power to try to jump on the algorithm of being a hardcore militant black. He's like, Black Lives Matter, and another thing, Ebonics, a.k.a. AAVE, needs to be taught in schools and all this shit. And he just keeps failing every way. Right. Every time he chooses a cause, it fails. Yasar era fraud. He says my favorite one of him is Thurgood Partial. Even though that mocks the light skin, us half breeds, that's hysterical. So we're going to keep that one.
Who told you were a half-breed?
Society.
Which part of society?
I don't know.
You need to think about that, brother. You need to think about that. I'm here to elevate and lift my people.
You just ask questions that confuse the shit out of me, bro. That's what you do.
Muhammad Phony.
Oh my God. He is OD, and so as his reign of terror has come to an end, people even blacks are like, you aren't black.
Wait, isn't he in like Palestine or some shit right now? Is he not in Gaza?
Well, now that the Palestinian thing is happening, he has claimed recently, within the last like couple of days, that he's Muslim now. He's like, I'm Muslim. I embrace Islam. And I'm like,
bro, can I make a confession to you right now, man?
Please.
No mo. I have spent a great deal of time in the anti-Nation of Islam streets recently.
Mm-hmm.
It's a scary place over there, Mantis. Like I rarely ever scrub my search history in Google. Not my browsing history, but my search history in Google and YouTube. And just to make sure my algorithm went back to the right place, I scrubbed it. I found myself in a few chats in regards to this topic where I was like, you motherfuckers are dumb as shit. It's a dangerous place. Would you like me to tap you in, send you some links?
Yo, please. Yeah, please. I want these links of a group of people who are like, and another thing, these half-breeds need to be killed. I used to love that every time we go to Grand Central. Yo, actually, when I was younger, I didn't go to Times
you talking about the Hebrew Israelites? Yes.
Yeah. when I was scared of all hoteps when I was a kid. Because even in my high school, if I went to Times Square and I was walking, there was always some Hebrew Israelite on a stage talking who would call me out. He'd be like, and you can't half breed. like this motherfucker right here. I'd be like, what? And everyone would turn. The audience would turn.
Oh shit, son, I got a deep burn for you. Do you remember that one crazy motherfucker that used to kick poetry in the village at Washington Square? That the fucking fountain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, that's all you had to say in the village. Yes, in Washington Square.
Yeah,
the poet motherfucker.
Reality. That motherfucker was crazy, son. At any rate, I've been spending a lot of time over there, man, and this is a movie that we might need to review here on Fanboys called Elijah Muhammad and His 9 Wives.
What? I'm on it. 9 wives. I'm in. Roxanne says he has already raised almost $1 million for feeding people in Gaza. Rip to all the people who are starving and won't get shit from me. You're right. He's gonna build a summer home with that money. That is poor. Like, to take advantage of these poor Gazans, it's messed up. I just found one that said Hueless Peen. Who's making these and why is it so many?
Dark-skinned black women are making them. Dark-skinned black.
He's a white guy. Yeah, what world are we living in? Yo, a decade ago, we had a white woman who was in charge.
Oh, Rachel Dozig.
Yeah, Dolezar.
Dolezar,
she was in charge of.
I'm sorry. You didn't say it correctly. You have to be respectful of her expression. She is a, what is this shit called? She expresses as a black person.
Expresses. Yeah, and I express with a motherfucker was an 18-inch dick. Come on, man. So she was in charge of the NAACP.
Not in charge. She was in charge of one portion that they were dealing with.
Okay. Apples and oranges, my friend. She got caught. Got basically digitally lynched. People were like, fuck this bitch.
Right.
And now we live in an age. We live in this flipped over where a white guy is pretending to be a black guy and raising millions of dollars in the name of blackness, even though he is clearly a white man.
Well, let me ask you a question. Do we discount any positive net gains that Rachel, talcum powder didn't do shit? But do we discount any positive net gains that she did as she was perpetrating the fraud?
So if I could...
No, I want to make sure you heard the question.
I heard the question.
Anything she positively, I'm not saying she did, but anything that she was able to positively do that impacted us and a positive impact, do we discount that?
Here's the thing. I come from the school where I agree with you. The verdict is important, not the process, right? And so if she actually did good for blacks in discrimination cases, then she's amazing. I don't care how she dresses.
Not amazing, thank you, but you're still not black.
Right, she's not black. But I care about that more. I care about the results more.
Right.
But people are like, why do you have to dress in blackface right in front of me?
Here's the crazy thing. She never tanned her face, man. She never went Kardashian. She just put some extensions. I think she just put some extensions in her hair, right?
She must have tanned her face.
That shows you how thirsty motherfuckers are. They're like, oh, she's light skinned. No, I'm pretty sure that's a white woman.
And she freaking... She had a fake black dad. She befriended a black man and brought him around parties at her work. And was like, "This is my." And when people weren't looking, when he wasn't looking, she's like, "That's my father." Even though, and he had no idea he was being paraded around as father.
Yo, and the crazy thing was, he's like some real legit elder statesman, like in regards to scholastic things. But here's the crazy part, right? When you thought we were done with her, did you watch the documentary about her on Netflix dealing with her 2 black sons, which is actually kind of heartbreaking? Because on top of all this bullshit, man, you have to remember that she was playing mother to these 2, right? The eldest one, who's not her biological son, had to disown her, as many of us would say he should because of the controversy, but he rocked with her up until the point. I just want you to think about that for a second. This young man rocked with the woman who was his mother up until the point. And then she got a job as a teacher and got fired for being on OnlyFans.
Wait, Rachel Dolezal went on OnlyFans?
Nigga, I thought that's where we were going with this shit. Yes, nigga, look it up. She just just recently got fired for being on OnlyFans.
That's fucking.
Hold on for a second.
This has gone full circle. Wait, I need to make a statement real quick.
Go for it. I'll look it up.
So unless your parent is essaying you or beating you on the regulars, or maybe verbally is
teaching you to speak
on the next level. Teaching you AAVA as a real language. You should not disown your parents. And so I know everyone's like, fuck you, Mantis, you don't have my issues with my parents, blah, 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 all these things. There are people out there getting molested, getting raped, getting murdered, getting strangled, getting beaten, things. What I am saying is, I do not stand.
If your mother pretends to be fucking Venezuelan and she's fucking Argentinian, let that shit go.
Let that shit go. You know why? Because you know what? There are far crazier mothers out there.
Absolutely.
There are far crazier mothers.
Can you click on the link I just sent you? You don't have to change the background or anything. Just click on the link and it'll take you right to where we need to be.
Wait, on Discord?
Yeah, in Discord. And this will be the last episode.
God, this thing right here.
This is it. This is it.
I mean, I gotta do a switch review.
We've been trying to get kicked off of YouTube, and if this doesn't get us kicked off, folks, nothing will. And we'll be officially changing. Never mind. That's inside baseball.
God. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm grossed out. I'm grossed out.
Proving that motherfuckers will pay for anything on the internet. Now, here's the crazy part, man. She apparently, I don't fucking know.
Oh my God. Only $9.99 a month.
So apparently, she got fired from her teaching job in regards.
Netflix costs more than her. Like, think about that, yo. Netflix. Oh my God. Have some respect for yourself. Is she still dressing up like she's black?
What do you mean dressing up like she's black?
I'm saying she's still pretending she's a black girl.
Yeah, she's transracial. She's transracial. She expresses as a black.
I remember one time I came to you and I said, race is a spectrum.
Right.
I remember you were like, what the fuck? And I was fucking with you. And like, but the fact that people are trying to pull that, people are like, well, race is a spectrum, so I'm kind of Chinese. You know what I mean? No, right. Mr. White Man, you're not Chinese.
Yeah, you're not Native American no matter what you fucking think.
All these blonde girls, here's my theory. Every blonde girl ever has a claim that they are partially Native American. They're like, I have a great-great-grandfather who's Native American. I'm part Blackfoot. And it's absolutely not true.
All right, so here's the official, that's 100% not true. Officially, woman formerly known as Rachel Dolezal fired from teaching gig over OnlyFans account. A former NAACP leader in Washington State who was exposed for pretending to be black in 2015 is now making headlines for a different controversy. Rachel D, that's what we'll be calling her by her porn name.
Are you guys seeing this?
Who changed her name to Nakeki Diallo in 2016 was fired from Catalina Foothills Unified School District in Arizona over her OnlyFans account. NBC News confirmed. What did you just click on? Did you just pay for some shit?
No, I clicked on her pic. I wanted to see what pic, and it just amplified her ugliness. That's not even worth $9.99 a month. You know what I mean? And so there are those of you out there who will look at me and Steve and be like, "You guys are Christian prudes or whatever." This is evidence of the absolute decay of our society. Depravity endlessly. She's not even hot. She's not even black. She's like, all of it is fake. It's all nonsense.
And Mantis is going to go subscribe later on after the show, just to make sure the internet's safe.
I am, but I'm doing it for all of you, each and every one of you. We need to know how in depth these fake blacks are and what they're up to, and I will investigate. We'll report it next episode.
These pod people.
The pod people of blackness, because may I remind you, Stephen, this is what we're up against.
Right.
This is what's corrupting your children.
Bro, here's the crazy thing, man. Somebody's subscribing to this shit. Like, somebody subscribe. Take it off the screen.
I cannot believe that we've stooped this low. We've got white boys decapitating themselves on YouTube. We have fake black chicks on fucking OnlyFans. You don't even know if whose race is correct.
That's the real anti-black shit. Yo, you know who else has got to come up on OnlyFans? I don't remember her name, but everyone will know her when I say her character, Christopher's fiance from The Sopranos. That young lady, the attractive yet unattractive woman,
right?
Not conventionally attractive, I guess would be the best term. She was able to save her home by doing OnlyFans pics. There's a whole article about that shit. During the pandemic, she didn't do any nudes or anything like that. She just did some tasteful, according to her, shit. But it saved her home.
Yeah, right. And my OnlyFans is just me reading stories, reading literature by the fireplace.
It could be.
It could be? You want to find out? Subscribe, motherfuckers. $39.99 a month. This bitch has no respect for herself. $9.99? Come on.
But I mean, you gotta set the price low. You get more people in. It's like you don't sell a red top for $10. You sell it for $8.99.
I'm high society. I'm classy. I'm $39.99 to watch me sit by a fire and read you classic literature. Now, if my pants come off halfway through, that's not my fault. You're just gonna have to subscribe to find out. And on that note,
I just need to understand who really thought this woman was black. What nigga thought this woman was black?
I'm telling you, she was using bronzer, but also this is another.
This clearly is a white woman with a perm.
This is another thing. White people don't ask questions. Am I right?
Oh, this is a shot at you, light skins. Oh, racially ambiguous.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
So her beef is not with black people; it's with y'all.
Yeah, she hates me because she can't be me, because she's 100% white. Roxanne says he's already raised. Oh wait, she already said that. Usagi says I just found one that said. Oh. Actually, I guess people haven't been commenting. Fuck y'all.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. This is a wonderful time to take off. Rachel Delazal, have some respect for yourself, girl. You want to tell people where they can find you?
They know where they can find me. The music is too loud, but Mondays and Sundays, live 365. Mike check with the boy Steve William with gimmicks, and of course every Monday or Tuesday here with my good friend Mantis from Fanboy Monolith.
Yo, check me out. You can catch me over on Live 365 Riz Radio every weekday, Monday through Friday, noon to 4 p.m. We're keeping it extremely real, but of course, keep tuning into Fanboy Modeling School and like, subscribe, share with your friends, tell everybody how loose we are. That's how this goes. But anyway, we are getting the fuck out of here. It has been a long night. Rachel Dolezal, call me, bitch. Call me. Peace.